Assalamualaikum and hi. We are students from BA 2353A will present the topic of special senses, which is the eyes. Before I proceed with this presentation, let me introduce myself first. I am SITI binti JAMIL and I will be the first presenter of today. Firstly, what is the functions of eyes? Eyes is the receptor organs of sight. It is known as incredible sensory organs that act as foundation for our sense of sight. It is specifically designed to receive images from the environment and transmits it to our brain via electrical signals. The eye is a complex organ that works together to allow us to see. It is divided into two main parts, which is the annexa and the eyeball. The annexa of the eyes, also known as annexa oculi, are the structures outside the eyeball. These structures include the orbit, eye muscles, eyelids, eyelashes, conjunctiva, and lacrimal apparatus. Next, the eyeball consisting of parts that covers the walls of eyeball, segments of eyeballs, and structures of retina. These structures will be explained in detail later. The orbit, which is sometimes known as the eye socket, is a bony cavity located within the skull. It plays a vital role in protecting the eyeball and associated muscles, blood vessels, and even the nerves. The orbit safeguards the eyeball from external impacts, bumps, and injuries, preventing damage to the sensitive internal structures of the eyes. Orbit also acts as passageway for essential elements such as blood vessels, which act as oxygen and nutrient supplier for the eyeball. Next, for muscles of the human eye, there are 6 measures of eye muscles, which is superior and inferior oblique muscles, superior and inferior rectus muscles, and lateral and medial rectus muscles. All of these muscles allow a wide range of precise eye movements by working in pairs to achieve specific movements. For example, to look up and to the left, the superior rectus muscle in the right eye contracts along with the inferior oblique muscle in the left eye. This coordinated action rotates both eyeballs upwards and slightly inwards, allowing us to focus on an object above and to the left. Other than that, eye muscles also allow binocular vision for depth perception. Definition of binocular vision is the coordination of eye muscles, particularly the medial rectus muscles, that allows depth perception, which is the ability to see things in 3 dimensions. Third structure of annexa is the eyelids. Eyelids are a crucial part of the annexa because it protects the eyes and maintains their health. Canthus are the inner and outer corner where the upper and lower eyelids meet. These points act as anchors for the eyelids and play a role in tear drainage. Next, tarsus, also known as tarsal plate, are made of dense connective tissue. It provides a firm but flexible framework within the upper and lower eyelids, providing necessary stiffness and shape. The fourth structure is the eyelashes. Eyelashes, also known as cilia in this context, are small hairs that grow on the edges of both upper and lower eyelids. The purpose of eyelashes is it can act as physical barrier, aid in tear distribution, filtering out dust, dirt, and other airborne particles.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad NAJMIE bin Muhammad NIDZAM. My matrix number is 2023 114009. So today I'm going to be the second presenter and I'm going to present. The first thing is conjunctiva. Conjunctiva is a thin clear membrane that protects your eye. It covers the inside of your eyelid and the white of your eye, which is the part is called sclera. Next is I'm going to present is about lacrimal apparatus. Lacrimal apparatus is the system responsible for the drainage of the lacrimal fluid from the orbit, or in other words, it's responsible for our tear system. So lacrimal going to control the tears that are going to come out from our eye. Alright, next I'm going to present about the sclera, or the white of the eye. It is a strong tissue that wraps around your eyeball and it helps maintain your eye shape and protect it from injury. So for often people going to say if you rub your eye too hard, your eye going to be blurry bit. Alright, next is I'm going to explain is about choroid. Choroid is a thin layer of tissue that is part of the middle layer of the wall of the eye, between the sclera, the white outer layer of the eye, and the retina. Is the inner nerve tissue at the back of the eye. Choroid is filled with blood vessels that bring oxygen and nutrients to the eye. So most of it's going to supply the nutrient to maintain. It's like a maintenance to our eye. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, we move to the last part, which is retina. This part is the sensitive innermost layer that lines the posterior segment of the eye. The function is to receive the nerve impulses and then transmit them to the brain through the optic nerve, also known as the second cranial nerve. Next segment of the eyeball, which the interior of the eyeball, and it's divided into two. First anterior and second posterior segments. Let's take a look at the anterior segment first. Anterior segment makes up the front 1/3 of the eyeball. This segment is divided into two, anterior and posterior chambers. As you can see from the picture, anterior chamber is located behind of the cornea and in front of the iris. Meanwhile, posterior chamber is located behind the iris and in front of the ligaments, holding the lens in place. There is a part in anterior segment called aqueous humor, also known as aqueous fluid, fills both anterior and posterior chamber. What is aqueous? This term can be defined as watery or containing water. And for the term humor, it describes any clear body liquid or semi-fluid substance. The function is to help the eye maintain its shape and nourish the intraocular structures. Trabecular meshwork and the canal of stem is used to constantly filter and drain the fluid. Next is intraocular pressure. The function as the measurement of the fluid pressure in the eye. This pressure is regulated by the rate at which aqueous humor enters and leaves the eye. Now, we move to the second segment, which is posterior segment of the eye. Posterior segment makes up the remaining 2/3 of the eyeball and is lined with the retina and filled with vitreous humor, or known as vitreous gel. It's soft, clear, jelly-like mass that contains millions of fine fibers. The use of the fibers that attach to the surface of the retina is to help maintain its shape. Now, I'll be explaining the structures of the retina. There are 5 structures, which is the first one is rods and cones. The function is to receive images that have passed through the lens of the eye. Then, these images are converted into nerve impulses and transmitted to the brain through optic nerve. Rods are black and white receptors, while cones are the color receptors. The second one is macula, or known as macula lutea. It's defined light-sensitive area in the center of the retina that is responsible for sharp central vision. The third one is fovea centralis. This is a pit in the middle of the macula. This is the best area for color vision as it contains high concentration of cones and no rods. Next is optic disc, which also known as blind spot. This is a small region in the eye where the nerve endings of retina enter the optic nerve. Why it is called as blind spot? It is because it does not contain any rods or cones to convert images into nerve impulses. The last one is optic nerve, which the function is to transmit these nerve impulses from the retina to the brain.
So, my name is IZZWIENA and I will be continuing the presentation. Ciliary body, the blood ring-shaped band of thin muscle fibers which plays a very active and vital role in the vision adjustment of the eye. It is a set of muscles and suspensory ligaments that adjust thickness of the lens and refine the focus of light rays on the retina. It also produces the aqueous humor that fills the anterior segment of the eye. To focus on nearby objects, these muscles adjust the lens to make it thicker, and to focus on distant objects, these muscles stretch the lens so it is thin. The iris is the colorful circular structure surrounding the pupil which can be seen in front of the eyes. The function of it is to regularize the amount of light reaching retina. Muscles of the iris control the amount of light entering through the pupil. Muscles contract, allowing smaller opening to decrease the amount of light entering the eye, and the muscles relax, allowing larger opening to increase the amount of light entering the eye. Next is cornea, pupil, and lens. So cornea is a transparent outer surface of eye covering iris and pupil. It is the primary structure that focuses on the light ray from entering the eyes. On the other hand, the pupil is the black opening in the center of the iris which permits light to enter the eye. And for lens, it is a clear, flexible, curved structure that is contained within clear capsule located behind the iris and pupil. The function of lens is to focus images on the retina. Let's move to the normal action of the eyes. Firstly, we have accommodation, which is the process where adjustment of various parts of the eye, including the lens, allow the eyes to focus on objects at varying distances. From the picture, accommodation happens when the lens changes its shape to adjust the focal length of the lens. When a person is looking at distant objects, the lens flattens, and when looking at near objects, the lens will become rounder for the eye to focus. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. I am YASMIN, binti Muhammad SHAIFUTRA, and I will be the last presenter for this topic, and I will be explaining to you more about type of normal action of eye. So the first one already has been explained. Now let us move to the second one, which is convergence. Convergence is referred to the ability of both eyes to move inwards and towards each other. So this is to focus on a close object, and this movement is essential for binocular visions and depth perceptions. Next, ametropia. Ametropia is referred to the state of a normal vision where the eye is perfectly shaped to focus light directly onto the retina. This is also resulting into a clear visions without the needs of corrective lenses. In addition, ametropic eye is the refractive power of the cornea and lens. It's perfectly matched to the length of the eyeball. It also allowing for sharp focus of distant object. Moreover, refraction eye is referred to the bending of light as it passes from one medium to another with a different density. In the context of visions and optics, refraction is the bending of light as it passes through the various structure of the eye, such as cornea and lens. This is also to focus on the retina. For the last part is visual acuity. Visual acuity is the clarity of sharpness of visions, which is the ability to see, find details, and distinguish between 2 points that are close together. It is a critical measure of eye health and visual function. That's all from us. Thank you for your time and listening.